putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson. I got a little off track last segment, but I was talking about my frustration. KJRadio.com is where you can find out more about us, or you can call the show at 844-551-8255. I was talking about my frustration as an American that we will not allow this country to get on track and stay on track purely because leftists don't want people to believe that Donald Trump is as good as he is, because that would expose how bad Barack Obama is. And I was using different analogies. The number of people killed in Chicago since 2009, 4,000, none of them by Nazis, none of them by Confederate monuments, none of them by Confederate flags. But we watch black on black crime happen every single day. Black on white crime happen more than the norm. And we're talking about Confederate statues. We're talking about nonsense, folks. The left, they are masters at subterfuge, and they have us talking about Colin Kaepernick taking a knee in a sport. I mean, let's say you did something at a company that you work at, unpatriotic for whatever reason, and they let you go. We don't even talk about it. But because he plays football, he is a pampered little princess who plays football and makes millions of dollars. We got to give him more due. I talk about this all the time, and maybe we'll cover it today. We're singers. You know, why is Katy Perry or Taylor Swift's idea around something better than yours, or Ben Affleck, or whomever? Why does George Clooney count for more? Because he can act? Why does Barbra Streisand count for more? Because she can sing? Does that make them smarter than you? Of course not. These people are less plugged in. Their world is so far removed from your day-to-day grind, they can't even see the forest for the trees. But they get credit. They get, we listen to them. They are all over the place. And leftists want it. They dominate. They make you believe George Clooney is relevant. Stars are Darfur. We've got to help Darfur. Most of them couldn't find Darfur on a map. They wouldn't know how to pronounce it. Couldn't tell you what an indigenous Darfurian looks like. But it becomes the catchphrase, because that's what the left does. They make sure we catch on to it, and woo, look at us. And we oblige. I was mentioning a guy, Jason Kessler, hit piece on this guy. He was a former liberal who became a conservative of sorts, and they were blaming him for calling him a white nationalist for the Charlottesville thing. He's far from a white nationalist. He got a guy named Wes something, a black guy, fired off of Terry McAuliffe's Committee on Education. He got him fired from his teaching position, and even though he remains vice mayor of the city, this guy, Wes Bellamy, that's his name, Wes Bellamy, Kessler's got him on notice. And he did it because Bellamy is an ethnocentric black racist who extorts white people in the town of Charlottesville to donate to him. He's got an extortion racket going. The same is Jesse Jackson. The same is Al Sharpton and many others. D. Ray McKesson, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is extorting Grand Canyon University because a black man dare say there are members of Black Lives Matter who should be killed. A black professor said this. A white professor outed him after he was dismissed from his job. They think it's some sort of a tiff between the two. And now this black professor finds himself under fire for saying something truthful. Black Lives Matter are terrorist thugs, just like Antifa. And some of them need to be killed if they continue to incite violence. They think that they're immune to somebody responding back. And you say that, you say the truth about it. Let me put it to you this way. If I'm a cop and you pull the BLM crap that got pulled in Dallas, I'll shoot you. You're going to shoot at me? I shoot back. I don't need to get rules of engagement. And what are we afraid of? Confronting terrorists? I want to go back to this Kaepernick thing because Tucker Carlson had the VP of the NAACP, and I played the first clip where Tucker was essentially saying the NFL is overwhelmingly black. So then the guy goes, yeah, but not the owners. Okay, while you could say the Fortune 500, there aren't a whole lot of black owners of companies. Does that make it bad that they employ black folks? I wouldn't care. Look, if Apple Computer wants to employ 85% black people, I don't care who the ownership is. The United States Post Office employs mostly blacks. The owner is the American public, which is not mostly black. But I don't care. Black folks got jobs. Congratulations, Negroes. No, other people thought I was going to say something else. I was going to say Negroes. Anyway, look, that wasn't even the biggest part of the argument. The biggest part of the argument when Tucker was talking to the vice president of the NAACP, who has taken it on itself to represent one colored person, and his name is Colin Kaepernick. And he's only half black. He's half black and he's half Italian. I guess they're only representing half of his case. But they are representing a black man who got a $126 million contract, of which $38 million was paid out to him. Not to mention the endorsements he likely had when he was at the top of his game. And now Kaepernick, who of his own accord took free agency and can't find a job, and he's wondering why, and they want to cry racism. And my frustration is we should be stopping them from doing this nonsense every single time. And what's funny, the VP of the NAACP, we'll do, if we have to, we will take harsh steps. The harsh steps have already been taken against the NFL because of Colin Kaepernick. We're the reason that the NFL stats are so far down, they're going to be begging for buttermilk here pretty soon. Anyway, let's play that other Tucker Carlson clip interviewing this NAACP VP and discuss it, because this was a key question asked by Tucker and, of course, never answered by the NAACP.
Right. So you represent the NAACP. Here's my question to you.
I'm the vice president of the NAACP Atlanta.
That's right. So over 70% of black children were born out of wedlock this year. Is that a bigger problem or a smaller problem than Colin Kaepernick getting another $126 million contract? Because I don't hear you saying anything about that.
Well, first off, if you Google me, you'll see the work that I do in the African-American community here in Atlanta. So a question like 70% of the African-American children being born out of wedlock,
yeah, it seems like a big deal.
We're focused. We're focused. Well, what is the rate in Atlanta? I live in Atlanta, Georgia. So you could tell me the rate in Atlanta.
Here
you can tell me the rate in
sucking
Georgia.
up to a guy who just signed a $126 million contract. I think in a country of 320 million, you could find someone who's actually the victim of racism or oppression. But this guy, who's 29 years old and has more money than God, he's the victim. It just doesn't. I guess that's what I'm saying. There are a lot of people who might want to, might need your help.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. So it was funny. Great question from Tucker, right? 70% of kids are born out of wedlock. That's the biggest issue, affecting the black people today, is the lack of family, the nuclear family. And you're worried about Colin Kaepernick. You're singling out one dude who doesn't even need your help. I don't know if they even registered with the guy. So then he says, well, Google me. Google me. I'm an amazing person. Look at what I do. And Tucker's going, yeah, but you may do some good stuff, but you're wasting your time right now. But no, Google me. And he says, oh, by the way, it doesn't matter what the rate is for black people all over the place. The rate in Atlanta is what I'm concerned about. The rate of kids born out of wedlock in Atlanta. Look at what work I've done. And then you can determine if you believe that I'm worthy of sitting here defending Colin Kaepernick, because I've done an amazing job in Atlanta. So you must presume, right, that the out of wedlock births in Atlanta because of this VP is just outrageous. He has made a super dent in the out of wedlock births. No, he hasn't. I looked it up. 2/3 of the kids in Atlanta were born out of wedlock. Atlanta, folks, is the modern chocolate city. It's not New Orleans. It is a shining city on the hill for blackness. They have been Andrew Young, mayor of Atlanta. They've had marquee mayors. It is run by black folks, and it's been run into the ground, and it's no different than any other city that's run by Democrats, and particularly black Democrats. It's run so poorly, they're going after white people in the suburbs to bolster their tax base. This guy wants you to believe he's done some amazing stuff in Atlanta. It is a lie. He hasn't done jack. Just more race baiting, more dividing of America by black race pimps.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.